This is a very small video for a very big topic. So my intention is in a very short time, I'm going to help you understand the difference between the two biggest systems in astrology and how, even though they contradict each other, they actually both still work. And why? How? How can they both be right? Why am I talking about this now? Well, because I just made a video on the Pisces new moon that's coming up, and somebody commented in the comments that it's an Aquarius new moon, tropical astrology is blind. That's what they said. Now, it might not be the most elegantly put way to say it because they had to put another system down, but I do appreciate that they put their comment in there and brought up the fact that, yeah, there's a whole nother system. And the whole other system is saying that it's not even a Pisces new moon, it's an Aquarius new moon. Oh, that's significant. So here's the deal. Astrology has two main ways of mapping things. One is tropical and the other system is sidereal. Now, quickly, I use tropical. Most Western astrologers use tropical, so that's the one I'm more familiar with. And that's what when I do my talks, that's what I'm using to do my analysis. And this system is based on cycles, the cycles that are predictable based on the Northern Hemisphere seasons, light, symbolic rhythm, etc. Now, to clear something up, because I was confused about this at first when I was learning astrology. This is the word tropical. It has nothing to do with the tropics, like thinking about going to an island and having a Mai Tai with a little umbrella drink or whatever. It has really nothing to do with that. It's based on the Greek word tropikos, which means turning point. It's important because that tropical astrology is based on the turning of the sun's movement through the solstices, through the equinoxes. So Aries always begins at the spring equinox and it unfolds from there to Pisces. So how can this work if the planets in tropical are not actually in the constellations that are physically in the sky? Well, it's because it's about how we experience the natural cycles of light and growth and decline and renewal. Aries always coming through with that spring in the Northern Hemisphere, it's symbolic of that energy of bursting forth and starting something new, starting something fresh. Then we have Cancer. It always comes to the peak of the summer in the Northern Hemisphere, and that's nourishment and protection. Libra comes next in that change of the equinoxes, and that's when there's a balance between light and darkness. And then Capricorn holds up the winter, old man winter, that Saturnian energy. It's the world that's bare and structured and demanding resilience. So it's a symbolic system. The signs aren't just names. It's the seasons, how we feel them in our lives. That's the tropical system. Now, sidereal astrology, on the other hand, is what you often see in Vedic astrology. And that tracks the constellations as they appear right now, where the planets are right now. Now, because Earth wobbles, it's got that wobble to it, and it's called precession, that little drift that it's got. Sidereal astrology is 24 degrees off of tropical. So the same new moon would be in Aquarius for them, and sidereal, it's in Pisces for tropical. So same sky, totally different lens. The thing that's interesting about both systems is that neither of them exactly match the constellations as they are right now in the sky. Tropical astrology aligns with seasons, like a solar clock, and sidereal astrology follows the stars, yes, but they still divide everything into neat 30-degree categories. What's the big deal about that? Well, Pisces is a huge constellation and Scorpio is a small constellation. So even though they are not equivalent in size, the sidereal system still maps them out as 30 degrees each when they put them in their charts. Both tropical and sidereal systems work still. That's wild, right? But how? Because it's that they're not objectively correct, that they are a self-contained language, a complete framework with a coherent system and internal rules that do not change. They stay the same. And this is where it gets really exciting because we can apply the concept of quantum physics really beautifully into this concept. You know, there's experiments where these particles exist in multiple states until someone observes them. That's how astrology kind of works. And it's similar in a way that when you choose a system, when you put your ideas and your energy into the system, whether it be tropical or sidereal, we become a participant in it. And our attention and our intention brings it into life and it starts shaping reality around it. The tricky part happens when we try to make them make sense together. We try to blend them or try to understand both of them at once. That's where it gets hard because it's like observing two quantum outcomes simultaneously. Things just start to get messy, unclear, muddy. You can't comprehend it. But if you pick one system, you pick one idea to dive into, then suddenly everything becomes clear and the puzzle comes together once you know these rules. So it's very individual, just like every other thing in astrology. Your system is also based on what clicks for you, what feels more accurate. If you look at your charts in both systems, which one is going to resonate with you? Because that is what you need to work on. The same thing happens with different house systems. We can go into that in another video if you're interested, because I have experience with both. I do whole sign astrology, but I started out with Placidus, and I feel they both are relevant. They're both actually right. It's just, you got to see it in a way that makes sense. Is it okay that both systems can be completely different and both work? Yeah. Is it okay to feel weird about it? Yeah. That both can hold truth. That's called cognitive dissonance, and it's normal. And if you think about the vastness of the spirit and the universe, and how there's so many different ways to get up to the top of the mountain, and think about different spiritual traditions, Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, they all are different, but they're pointing to the same basic truths, and they're doing it in completely different ways. But are they wrong because something else exists? No, they both can work, and they both have their value. Astrology is like that too. So I'm not sure if the person who made that comment is watching this video. If you are, hello. But I hope this was interesting to you as well, to open your mind a little bit to the fact that both systems can exist simultaneously, and that there's not just one answer for everyone. If there was, there would be no need for all this diversity in our charts. It's really an individuation path, and I'll say that until my last breath, and that's what makes it so special and beautiful. I like you just the way you are. If you have any other questions that I can answer for you, burning questions about astrology, I would love to do that. I'll talk to you next time. Okay.